So we've got ourselves another list of players. We are running out of SBCs and now the Euros and the Copa America is finished. It is full force into footies. Now unfortunately it didn't quite go the way I personally wanted, but clearly the better team winning every single game was spectacular. Honestly, a incredible tournament for them. It won't soften the heartache, but I mean, we go on, we move on. So I am thinking that we haven't actually had an international start today, so I'd imagine that might be something tonight at 6. I don't know whether they're going to do an SBC or anything. We got Rice and then we got Laporte, then Rice from the semi-finals. I kind of expected to wake up to a Spanish SBC or then an Argentinian SBC. And also Messi's ankle, jeez. It's a bit unfortunate for the final game for him, but managed to get the victory in the end. It's got to be nice. So let's have a look at what is available at the moment, because we have got very little in SBC. So I'm expecting most of these to go and then it's just full force straight back into them, because I believe there is a couple that are in leaks, but they've not been confirmed yet. We can't really talk about them until they're actually out. When it comes to icons, we have got we probably have less icons than we did after the first month in SBCs. Genuinely, 4 icons left. One of them goes in 7 hours, the other the next day. We then have 4 days for Stoichkov and still 11 days for Pirlo, so he's going to be right in there with footies. But we only have 4 of them now. And to be honest, I'd probably say only one is worth it really, and that's going to be Casillas. Casillas coming in at 360, solid keeper. He's definitely amongst the best of them in terms of his rating. He's obviously got the full upgrade for him. Spain doing what Spain do best. He most definitely is an absolute cracking card. And I believe he got the 99 reflex as his 4 goals, so a very, very big upgrade for him. If you're looking for coins to improve your team, head over to lootbar.gg for the most reliable and also the best coins around. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours, absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. Personally, I still prefer Schmeichel. Van der Sar is definitely up there as well. A lot of people are liking Czech still. You've got Oblak still to Stegen. You've got Pickford now at a 98. There's some huge keepers in there, and I can imagine it only gets better. But for me, I would go with Casillas as at least a must complete out of these, definitely. And I'd probably go with these as a none, to be honest. When it comes to them, I think they're brilliant cards if you are looking at them from just a player point of view. But having to spend 1.12, 2.4 and practically 2.5... I just don't think they're worth it, especially when you do have the SBC out at the moment of the 92 Encore icon pick. Now, I'm not saying that you get great from that. I think my option was Van der Sar goalkeeper, it was Hernandez great to the game, and I want to say another ultimate birthday that just wasn't really worth picking. So it's not like you always guaranteed it, but that's going to be the reality now. We are going to have multiple of these going on for weeks. So personally for me, if you've not done them already, I wouldn't bother. If you are absolutely certain you want to do an icon and you want to do a more expensive, then I would possibly have looked at Figo, just because you can't technically get him in packs. He is an SBC only, so that would be the only thing I'd go with there, is the fact that you can't actually get him. I think Yaya and Bon Pastor, quite easy too, to be honest. They've been out a while now. They've got 20 days still for Bon Pastor and 3 days left for Yaya Toure. Now, I don't think any of them are going to be worth it really, unless a brilliant evolution comes out in the next 2 days for Yaya or in the next 20 days for Bon Pastor. But even then, I feel like there will be better shouts going into it. We then have the remaining of the Euro promo. So we've still got some Great to the Games hero, we've got some Team of the Tournaments, some Path to Glories, and also some Copa America Path to Glories, but also the International Stars. So by the looks of it, the maximum we've got is 12 days for Rudiger. You got 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So pretty much most players are going to be going every single day, and they'll just be replenished with new. So whether we see any more Team of the Tournaments coming in the next because well, we're only on Monday, so normally we'd get like 1 or 2 more normally in terms of what EA actually release. So I'd imagine we'll get at least 2 more, and then it will kind of go into the footies season. So then it's just an absolute bloodbath of, I guarantee we'll have icons straight away, more than likely heroes, and then we'll go into the players as well, depending on how they're setting up this footies. I'd imagine we'll go with the same week 1, 2, 3, then it goes into like maybe your best pools 1, 2, and 3, and then it will just be 1 and 2 go together, and then batch 2 goes with batch 3, and then everything's just in packs. Because we are starting to get a huge amount of leaks for FC25, and also the beta is semi-leaked, so it is most definitely going to be one where we're going to be hearing more and more news, so it's going to take away from this game. But if you are still grinding it, who are the people to look at? We've got a few decent people now. So we've got Lazarazu at 564. We've obviously got Mascherano at 400 as the 2 heroes. Decent rating. I think both of them are good value. I don't know if I'd quite say they are incredible. Obviously, when it comes to Lazarazu, there is an incredible amount of left backs. He was very good with his fantasy upgrade. I think this one most definitely is another step up, but it's not quite a Mendy, it's not quite a Teo Hernandez. They are definitely the better ones, and especially Capdevia as well if we're going for heroes. He's just a decent left back in my opinion. So I would personally go with him in more okay value. I think if he was kind of around the 3 to maybe 350 price, I'd be saying it's a great value, but 500 to 600 is still quite a considerable amount for a left back. We obviously then have Mascherano as a 95, did manage to get his upgrades as well, which is even perfect because Argentina did manage to do it, which has made him into a 95 now, which is even better. He's a 4-4, he's coming in at 400,000, anticipate, intercept, long ball pass. For me, I personally like him as a CDM. It's just a better position all round from what I think he plays as. He's a decent-ish centre-back, but there's too many better centre-backs in my opinion. And most definitely when you look at the stats, you go with something like an Anchor if you wanted to go an all-out shadow. It's more than possible. 95, 98, 97. I mean, that's a cracking DM stat if I do say so myself. I don't know if I'd quite go must complete those still. I'd go into more great value for him. And then we do have the 2 international stars. So this is going to be Rice and Laporte. Both of them come in after their semi-final performances. I mean, I get Laporte. I think most definitely Yamal's not in the game, so he couldn't quite have anything anyway. But he did play a decent match. Rice, I'm not too sure about. Like, I mean, it's not as if he was dreadful, but I think there was definitely better options. And the problem they've got, and it's like with a lot of these SBCs, when you've got so many path to glories, like you look at the England team in general, there was so many to kind of maneuver around. You've already got Saka, you've already got Pickford. Bellingham more than likely was tipped for team of the tournament. You've already got a Palmer, a Walker, a Stones, a Gomez, a Watkins, a Trent. Ivan Toney's got one. Guehi was tipped for one as well. Gallagher's already... I mean, you have got very little cards other than Kane, who I think would have all laughed if he did. I don't think he's had a good tournament. It just is what it is. Some people don't. It's not as if it reflects on his entire career. I think for him, it just wasn't meant to be. And you've already got a Rashford one. I know it weren't in the team, but if you were looking at an English player as well, I think he's probably the only one left, to be honest, other than maybe given like a Gordon one who didn't play the match. There was literally nobody else. Maybe Mainu could have been in there. I think that would have been my better substitute. And to be honest, the card itself isn't that much greater, to be honest. I mean, they didn't give him the 4-4, didn't give him like a 5-4 or 4-5, didn't give him a quadruple play style plus. They literally increased the stats by 1. Either they have a footage plan for him and they didn't want to ruin it right now, or they just forgot to upgrade him properly. So for me, I think he's a good card, but I mean, if you've already gone and done, if you've already got a red card of this, if you've already packed him untradeable, it really isn't going to be that much of a difference. It's practically the same card. The only thing that is decent for him is the fact that he is cheap. That is kind of the big dub for him. Why I would say is more must complete. Potentially fodder in terms of if you've got a midfield that's absolutely crazy already, but the cheapness of him is what outweighs this. And then the same for Laporte as well, to be honest. It's coming in at a 96. I think they did pretty well for this card. He has got the quadruple play style plus. He's got bruiser, jockey, powerhead, and also the block. 92,000 coins. it's a decent centre-back at a minimum. I believe Shadow was going to be the one because he's got enough room to give himself the 97 pace, 99 defending, already having very good physicality stats with the strength and aggression, topping and especially jumping as well, making him into a 98 rated centre-back overall. Again, I think in terms of price, you can't argue with that. There's very few cards that we get at this moment in time that are 96, 7, 8 that are just 100,000 coins. I think you don't miss out on them chances. Now, they do have a few days left. You've got 9 days and 8 days for both of them, which is perfect. We then also have some of the Path to Glory. So we are looking at Jota, we're looking at Weghorst, Orzabal, Gallagher as the Path to Glories, and also then Martinez, who has received the final upgrade already. So he is now a 95 after winning the Copa America. Same with Orzabal, he's got himself the 96 as well. So we're looking at the price of 900,000 coins for Jota. You can tell my excitement. You got 134 for Gallagher, you got 100 for Martinez, you've got 350 for Weghorst, and 48,000 for Orzabal. Now, obviously, the 48,000, you've got to do it. Like, that is so cheap, it's unbelievable. He's got the max upgrade, brilliant to him. Like, that is an absolute must-do. You're not going to get a 96 cheaper at this point in the game. Martinez, I think as a player, I like him. I don't think he's the most consistent centre-back in the game. So I would go for a great value. He is 100,000 coins. He is 95 and he did get the max upgrade. But I do think when we look at the player, I think Laporte can do a good amount. Rice can do bits. And then Orzabal most definitely can go back on the wing where he belongs. Jota can get in the bin. That is atrocious pricing from him. Now, this is the point from kind of like a meta perspective. If you are building a Liverpool team, or if you are building a Portuguese, a Dutch, a Burnley team, a Chelsea, then obviously this doesn't matter. If you're building one of them teams, then you've got to do him. It'd be like me snubbing a Ronaldo because he's 1.5 mil. If I'm building the team and that's all I care about, of course do him. It's not a point of this card is absolutely rubbish, don't put him in your team at all. If you're building a specific team that he fits into, then why not? If he's the best card that you're going to get, you don't know if he's going to get a footies. Just to clarify. Then we've obviously got Weghorst. Now, for me, I think he's an incredible striker. He's obviously a former self from FIFA 23 and 22. I'm pretty sure he got specials. And he is another controlled lengthy striker. He's 6'6", a big old unit. And obviously with a rapid and power shot, I mean, there's not much else to love there. He is absolutely massive in goal. So I think he is an absolute must. When it comes to Gallagher, very much like Martinez, I think he's a great price. I just don't think he's worth the must complete. I think he's just a very good value. If you've got extra stuff going on, he's managed to get the 5-5 for the semi-final win. So I do think for him, he most definitely is worth a look-in at a minimum, but I wouldn't necessarily make him my mission to complete. And then finally, we have got the two team of the tournament. So we've got two of them from the centre mid and also a centre back. Going in for Vitinha first, 5-5 of Dreams. Unbelievable team of the season. If you've used him, you know full well how good this card truly is. He's 240. I'm pretty sure he dipped massively when he kind of came out of them. Yeah, he's looking at him dropping all the way. 1.4, 1 mil. Got a little bit of bump into June, and then we kind of came down slowly, and then it just absolutely floored once the team of the tournament actually came out and dropped 200k in the process. So I think for 440, 97 rated, that is a must complete. He is so good in that mid. He is one that you definitely want to have a look at. And then obviously Rudiger comes in last. Another good centre-back. I've not necessarily been the biggest fan of him this year. I think in terms of pricing, in terms of rating, he's very, very good. He most definitely will put a shift in. I must admit, kind of like Martinez to some extent, and Laporte definitely breaks the mould. He hasn't got the anticipate, so there's only so much he can do in comparison to a Virgil, to a Rio Ferdinand, because the anticipate is a massive playstyle pluses, and they do run the show now. Playstyle pluses mean absolutely everything. Most people in the next week, 2, 3 will have 90 and above everything. So that is what it's going to come down to. The 5-5, the playstyle pluses, the body type, and That's pretty much it. Maybe price, if you're looking at that. That is the only things that's going to matter in the game. So not having that anticipate is a massive blow for him. I think he really should have had it just to make him that little bit more meta relevant at the point of this. And I think a lot more people would have done him, to be honest. So I think when we look at him price-wise, 380, not bad. I don't think it's necessarily insane value because, of, like I say, the anticipate. If you've already got the amount of centre-backs that we've got at that top level is unbelievable now. Like Virgil, Saliba, we then see Vidic, even though he doesn't have it, is still an unbelievable centre-back. Ruben Diaz is up there. You've obviously then got Militao, who's incredible. Arejo's incredible. Konate, even a bit of Stones. I don't think he's necessarily my number one, but he's still very good with the upgrade. You go a bit further down, you're looking at Bastoni, Gomez. You go a bit further to Benusi, Gabriel, wishy-washy. Then a bit of Maldini as we go through. And this is what I mean. There's just list after list after list. So whether you'd want to do him or not is a big question. I personally would say he's decent enough value to put there, but I wouldn't necessarily put him in that top spot for the must completers. I think I would expect a little bit more from him personally. But that's going to be my list. It is a very bare list at the moment. I'm hoping we get more SBCs in the next week or two. Let me know down below if you've finished any. What's your thoughts on FC now? Are you done, or are you still grinding the game out ready for footies? But apart from that, hopefully you enjoy, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.